Video games usually come and go in our lives. You play them, you put them down, you move on. It's life, we're busy, and these works of art can be fun distractions for a little while and give us a few hours of just plain fun. And then there are those masterpieces that change your life. Games so good with a world and characters and a story you just end up getting lost in, where gameplay, narrative, art design all come together with creativity to mold a once-in-a-lifetime experience that ends up creating the hardest thing a game can create, an identity. So this is why Cyberpunk 2077 will change your life. Cyberpunk 2077 is a cyberpunk dystopian game that released by CD Projekt Red in December of 2020. A game at the time that was lamented for its technical issue, but even behind its failures on a technical level and some of the promises that weren't totally delivered on from the humongous marketing campaign that happened to it, there is a gem here hiding behind a failure of technology and overpromises. A jewel surrounded by malpractice, but now with 4 years later, when you boot up this game, you're able to have all that context end up washing away and you're able to appreciate this game not for what it should have been, but for what it is. Because when you create your character and get lost in Night City for the first time, it's really hard to hate this game. The narrative does a fantastic job of setting up a captivating main overarching storyline that provokes you into wanting to quickly engage and experience everything the game has to offer. Around the 1/3 mark in the game, a heist goes wrong and your main character V receives an engram into his head. It's a software with rocker boy anarchist terrorist Johnny Silverhand, who's played expertly by Keanu Reeves. And he is overriding your mind steadily, leading to you randomly getting sick while also having this terrorist popping into cutscenes as your personal anarchist buddy to chime in on what he thinks is your personal devil advocate. It creates a ticking time element while also adding a character that's able to talk to you throughout the entire game. And I mean, like, who doesn't want to have Johnny Utah in your head throughout an entire game? I can't get the taste of him out of my mouth. Hold on, that's a quote from Point Break. Please. Anyway, this ticking time clock element that many games use, it works to great effect here with making you want to see what this world has to offer and make sure you get to see every part of Night City before your time runs out. And you truly don't want to leave a single inch of this city unturned because Night City is absolutely incredible. The world of Night City is one of, if not the most impressive city in a video game. There has never been a more dense and detailed city that feels so utterly unique while being an urbanistic hellhole. How do you take the horror of 2019 Los Angeles from Blade Runner and manage to make it keep its anxiety-inducing largeness while also making it still fun to navigate for a player in a gameplay sense? Well, put years into incredible art design, make sure that you spread these incredibly detailed side missions throughout your city, allowing you to show off the range and differences in ecosystem Night City has to offer so your player is constantly engaged. Because the biggest difference between Cyberpunk and other games is the quality of the quests, whether it be the main story or the side story, are nearly on the same level. These main story quests are exhilarating with incredible motion capture and cutscenes with a high-octane story, while the side missions show off the quieter and more emotional side of the city with characters showing who they are and allowing you to grow close to them. Judy, Pan Am, even Johnny, the narrative wants you to realize that your time is ticking away and wants you to see everything the city has to offer. It wants you to take a break from the huge corpo espionage story and take a break so you can spend a little bit more time with these characters. Spend one more day with that character you love. Have one more boxing match. Just see one more sunset. The longer the game goes on, the more desperate you are just to live and to be able to see V to get a happy ending. This leads you to desperately taking on any job, leading to the incredible DLC of Phantom Liberty. A story that happens in the middle of the game where you get an offer that you could have a chance to get your engram being cured. But that elusive offer leads you into the shady, walled-off section of Night City, Dogtown. And Dogtown manages to improve nearly every part of the main game while somehow fitting in tonally while having its own distinct identity with its James Bond-esque story with an incredible Bond song to boot. It has great characters, even better main and side quests, and an even better built city almost. The detail in these markets and little details with the vendors is so unique it's insane. And it has a desperate falling apart city showing Cyberpunk when it is at its best, and that is when its characters are their most desperate. Idris Elba's Solomon Reed being a desperate government agent abandoned by his country, So Me being a hostage with a similar disease as us, and the president of the NUSA trying to manipulate us all. With Kurt Hansen running his own city that helps the elite live a life of government-free glory, which sounds a little bit too familiar. The world of Cyberpunk is so well crafted with narrative, story, and world design it is so easy to get lost in a game this rich and layered. And Phantom Liberty shows how incredible this game is all tied together. The story, the characters, the side missions are so engaging to play through that you can never look away, and it's so hard just to put the game down. And when you do put it down after a long play session and you roll credits on just the DLC, it feels like you completed an entire odyssey through Dante's Inferno of a futuristic nightmare. Every part of Cyberpunk is must play. There's no skippable sections except Cinderman. Delete this from my brain. But this game is so well made, and it's all connected by its incredible gameplay. The first person action shooter is so well done and allows you to create your character in a multitude of builds. It might get too easy towards the end with the insane skills and powers you have, like I was playing on hard the entire game and the first little bit was like kinda tough, and by the end I was just basically playing with my eyes closed. But it also shows the overall horrifying reality that begins to seep in as your power scale creeps up and as the game moves along. As you improve your street cred and you get more incredible cars and more powerful guns and great upgrades, and also Johnny's pants and his shirt and his car, and you gain mantis blades in your arms and you have robotic legs that can help you double jump, you start to have the nagging feeling of this horrifying concept the game has slowly been showing you the whole time. With showing you characters like Atom Smasher and the medtech team that put down the cyber psychos, you start to realize that one of the most horrifying aspects of the cyberpunk world is that your humanity is starting to slip away. And with this game you don't notice it instantly, but that street kid or nomad you started off at the beginning of the game isn't the chromed up chum that everyone in Night City knows now off of Reputation. The longer this incredible game goes on, the more horrifying each new mission gets progressing the story. The longer it goes, the more quickly it feels like time is running out and the light at the end of the tunnel is getting darker and darker. No matter how many missions we finish, no matter how many promises are given to us, no matter how many upgrades we get, and you start having that little horrifying feeling that V is not going to get his happy ending. That tone that is created by this incredible rabbit hole type story, the incredible overwhelming world design in its subsections like Pacifica, Dogtown, Japantown, Corpo Plaza, Jig Street. All of that with this insane fast-paced gameplay with these emotional characters on the outside desperately trying to save you without a hope in the world creates the most impressive thing this game can create, and that is its own identity. There is no other game like Cyberpunk 2077 in gameplay, style, world, or tone. It is one of one, and it stands alone. It's got characters and moments you will not forget, a story in a world unlike anything else that is completely unique to itself. Sure, you can see its influences worn across its sleeve. It may not be the most perfect game when it released, and it's not the game that people thought it would be, but it's the game that I needed it to be. I needed a game that could throw me in a world and make me feel lost and hopeless for a bit, and in a cyberpunkish nightmare that I wouldn't trade for the world. Art is meant to make you feel something, and I wouldn't trade this cold, bleak, cyberpunkish nightmare with genuine characters who care about you for any other futuristic game. It's one of one, and I think it's one of our best. And remember what Johnny says.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
Stick some iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.